Hi Virgo, it's Jenny here, and we're going to be doing your February Tarot horoscope for the upcoming month. So I'm just going to be drawing a single card from my Salvador Dali deck and see what comes out for you for February. So the first kind of 2/3 of February is going to be Aquarius season, and then right towards the end we're going to be rolling into Pisces season. So that's kind of the main energy we're going to be working with, and we're going to see what comes up specifically for you. Try to not, oh god, my hands are kind of cold, making shuffling a little bit difficult right now. And okay, how about that one? Okay, here we go, Virgo. We have the sun for you. Okay, so this is what the sun looks like the right way up. So we have this figure here. He's standing mostly naked, but he's got this kind of drawn robe and sash around him. Up and above, we've got these two little cherubs in the clouds, and then below we have this lion, but it's kind of mostly in shadow. And he's also holding this kind of staff here together, and it's all blue background. So this is the sun, and we're going to see what the sun has to say for you today. Okay, here we go. The sun. Enlightenment. The lion is a typical sun symbol, while the Greco-Roman Apollo appears here as the god of light. Yet the card is rendered in darker tones. Most versions of this card depict twins, mostly shown as children, which discreetly hints at the second birth. The second birth is a metaphor, which means that you as an adult have to be reborn, and moreover give birth to yourself this time around. Your first birth brought you into this world. Your second birth is nothing less than deliberately choosing your own life's path, no longer restricted by habitual behavior and fixed routines, but informed by free choice and by exercising your own free will. Traditional behavior and thought patterns are replaced by a consciously chosen lifestyle. The second birth may be followed by a third, a fourth birth, and more, excuse me, in a progressive path of renewal, but the second birth is decisive, as the first one to be taken deliberately. This theme is common to the Buddhist goal of enlightenment, or the Christian maxim, if you do not become like the little children, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. This second birth is possible only as the result of a process of becoming. As long as you are lacking a true understanding of yourself, you will remain in an in-between state, in a period of being on the road. The subdued colors of the picture are in keeping with the tribulations on the way to the sun, the very center of yourself. This card is about finding your way towards the sun, which is located at the heart of the matter. Practical advice. Beware of all delusions. Surrender to the stream of life energy within and without yourself. Love God and do what you want to do. Okay. Oh, this card is great. So this is the Sun card, Enlightenment, Major Arcana, pretty big energy. So this card is often like, this light, bright, buoyant energy, enlightenment, and there's lots of different kind of rhetoric or kind of feeling around enlightenment as this really glowy process, and then like waking up everything sunshine and rainbows, and that you'll never feel sadness again, which is really not really adequate, or rather, a lot of the time enlightenment is not a place that you stay. If you are like reaching at this massive, this peak experience, or those incredible spiritual awakenings where you kind of break through this kind of earthly veil and you have those moments of massive insight, you don't usually stay at that peak. You have that enlightenment experience. It can be deeply transformative, but you still have to land back in and ground a bit. We are still living as incarnate beings here, and we can't stay right close to the sun all the time. We can enlighten ourselves and retrieve from that moment, and then we still keep working. There's a lot of enlightenment that is a long process that's very arduous. So the fact that this card doesn't like look that happy. He's not like looking up and triumphant. There's lots of dark shadows here. And as the card says, that the subdued colors are the fact that it's not all sunshine and rainbows on the way to this path of enlightenment. And this card, as it's expressing that a lot of this sort of search for enlightenment is not necessarily about going out of yourself, of like transcending and leaving your body and becoming like this ethereal spirit thing. It's talking about enlightenment as an inward journey, where you are going inward. It's an involution. Involution is a word. It's the opposite of evolution, which is all out, bigger, and kind of this way. It's about going inside, and it's saying that the heart is is the sun of your own body. If in the solar system we have the sun and everything is orbiting around it, and it is providing the heat and life for all the planets, your heart is that which is like the center core of your being. It pulses and brings the warmth and heat of your blood to the rest of your organs, and it's in the center. Everything's kind of designed to protect around it. So your heart is the sun, and a journey towards enlightenment, towards being close to that heat source and that light source, is an inward journey as well. So it's a process not of trying to transcend and leave your body and leave your earthly experience and leave everything that you've built and connected to in this life. It's significantly more about landing in closer to the truth and the source and the warmth of your heart, and whatever your heart is nudging you to do in this life. And it's going to look different than everybody else. And that's kind of part of this free choice, that there is still free choice and free will, because your heart is going to be telling you to do something that is different perhaps than what other people will do. When you enlighten yourself to what it is that your solar system core is guiding you to do, then you act with free choice on that. And if somebody's acting in a different way, that doesn't mean that they're wrong. It doesn't mean that you are wrong either. It just means that each of your hearts are telling you to do, you have a different mission. And so enlightenment is going to look different for you than it is for somebody else. So yeah, this whole second birth is really this, yeah, it's this deliberate choice of having been birthed into a world already where you've got these conditions that are put upon you. There's your family of origin is going to raise you in a certain way. You're going to have certain physical strengths and limitations being born in the body that you are. You're going to have different rules and regulations in your culture and your country. There's going to be all these things that you are born into without a choice, and you're going to grow up in that, and then you do get a choice now to birth yourself into a new way of living, if you so choose, and that is this new birthing into this vision, into this this guiding heart light that's going to put you somewhere else. And it's also not always going to be comfortable. Like, hence, again, we're talking about the darkness of the card. It's not a magical birthing is a messy experience. I don't know if you've experienced it, we've all experienced it as an infant that we don't remember, but if you've ever experienced birthing, it's bloody, it's screaming, it's tiresome, it's boring, it goes on for a long time. You want to change your mind, you want to go back, but there is no going back. And that's the same of birthing any sort of concept, any sort of artistic vision, any sort of dream or goal, a new thought system, a new belief, a purpose in life. It's all messy, and it's not, the payoff is beautiful and amazing, but the payoff also includes, back pain and sleepless nights. So it's no sense in sterilizing the concept by just saying once you achieve enlightenment as if it is something you only have to do once, and as if you get to stay there and you never have to try again. It's not really how it goes realistically. So tying this into the astrology of the moment, so February begins with Aquarius, and Aquarius is going to be Aquarius season is going to tie in really well with this concept of free choice and free will. Aquarius is very much self-determining and choosing their own path. No matter what other people are doing, Aquarius is focusing on what it is that they want to do, is going to beat to their own drum. So this idea that whatever your heart is telling you to do, and that you get to act on it with your free choice and free will, is very Aquarian. And there can be, so there's this joy and this purpose in following it. But there can also be a reactivity and an anger if you feel like you are being stifled or stopped from following what it is that you want to do. And so sometimes there can be this reacting in anger. The Aquarius story involves a character, Ganymede, being kind of like trapped in captivity to Jupiter and breaking free from bondage. In this kind of anger rage, and then afterwards kind of having this sort of quest for liberation, to liberate others. But it was born from this reactivity of anger and trying to break free. So it's really tricky, because sometimes we are in a place where we are actively needing to rebel and break from those who have put us in captivity, and are truly restricting our free will and are holding us in bondage. And then that anger and reactivity is correct to bring you back into freedom. However, we can also have the trauma of that captivity make us always believe that we are in bondage, and make us reactive and always in this aggressive fight or flight, and seeing anything that looks like it might be trying to, like, you know, even anything challenging your opinion or asking you to be a bit more discerning can look like somebody telling you what to do. So there can be if you haven't worked to heal the particular trauma of perhaps past bondage, or times where, you know, you felt like, you know, you wanted to birth something and somebody was jamming you back and holding you back in. So if you haven't healed the trauma and the grief and the rage from that experience, then you can sort of be seeing that in everything, whether or not there actually is a villain or whether it's your own perception. So part of this enlightenment journey is trying to heal any sort of like previous anger or rage that then forces you to react always in that angry fight or flight aggressive way, so that you can properly use your discernment, and then you can choose from that positive place to still stand strong. That doesn't mean now that you compromise or you let other people that actually are trying to be oppressive just do whatever. That's not it. But it involves using discernment and acting from a place of integrity and choice, rather than fear and reaction. So this beginning of February, where we're in Aquarius season, is probably going to be a lot of this as you're going inward on this journey into the sun sort of heart exploration. It might bring up some of those, like there might be some kind of trigger wounds that are coming up of, okay, I really want to get close to the heart of me. But that's very vulnerable. We have, you know, rib cage and muscles to protect our heart, because it's very, very scary to put it at risk. And going back into memory or times of that risk and trauma, you might bring up that, again, that desire to lock down and fight. And it's very satisfying to be able to fight against something, when oftentimes the danger really is our perception, our fear, our unhealed trauma, and there is no external villain anymore. We just keep trying to make a new villain so that we have something to fight, so we don't have to face what's actually going on inside. So this is part of not being delusional about things, and making sure that what we are seeing is as close to the truth as possible. And so it does require courage, and likely some community as well. They're Virgos that, like, a lot of Virgo energy can be very much about health and service and being really good at looking and taking care of others. But this may be a time where that kind of energy needs to be turned to you, and you need to really be focusing on your own health and care, so that you can work to, you know, heal whatever still fear might be kind of coming up protectively around your heart space, so that you can really like actually access it properly. And then afterwards, you will then have the energy to be able to go out in a positive, non-reactive way and help other people, either to help them achieve their own healing or liberation, or to genuinely champion and fight for those who, are still being oppressed by others. So that's sort of more, once we get into Pisces season, is more the like, okay, now you get to go out and pour it back to other people. So in Aquarius time, it's kind of this go in, trying to work on whatever those fears and triggers are, get to the heart of the matter and reach into that heart space yourself, into that enlightenment space. And then once you've really connected with that, and then the Pisces energy, which is more about kind of dissolving into the larger community of the whole, and feeling the love and connectedness that we all share with each other as humans and each other as non-humans, and the ecosystem and the world around us. That's when we get to kind of look up from our own particular concerns and see how we can help and aid everyone else. So that's sort of what we're going with here. And I think I'm probably gonna, because I usually can go a lot on this particular card, so we're gonna slow it down. And just this reminding of I'm just gonna pull into the last little bit here with the little children here, and this line of becoming like the little children, that this process doesn't have to be arduous. It doesn't have to be about, fasting and pain and discipline, and it can, if that's part of your practice, but it can also be approached with joy and lightness and trying to heal, to get back into a child's state of wonder and possibility, but now with the adult ability to protect and discern that you didn't have as a child. So there can be lightness because the sun is light, the sun is bright. Even if in this that we do see that it is sometimes covered by shadow, it's still warm and passionate, and so we can bring this child energy of innocence into this sort of quest, and then as you send her into what it is that your heart is wanting you to share, healing any of the fears that are going to cause you to still be reactive, and then as towards the end of the month with Pisces season, being able to now open and pour that energy out to others in a loving way. So Virgo, sounds like a good month for you, even if there might be some kind of yicky bits as you work through things, but I have faith in you, and best of luck and my love to you.